Many of you think that coffee makes me happy, but hockey makes me just as happy, if not happier, especially this time of year. We got an amazing player who played on the Vancouver Canucks, one of my favorite teams, the New Jersey Devils from back in the day, Carolina Hurricanes, and the Calgary Flames. His name is Eddie Lack. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. It's hockey time once again, isn't it?
It's been such a long summer, I feel like. So yeah, I'm super excited. I watched it a little bit yesterday, but when the Canucks are playing tonight, I'm gonna 100% watch it.
Yeah, it's been quite the last couple of years. I mean, I'm a Leafs fan. I don't know how happy you are to
I'm
hear
sorry.
that. Many people think I'm just a sore loser. But it's good because now we're able to do a maximum capacity crowd finally at our arena. Same with the Raptors and whatever. So our sports is back in check. You just got to wear a mask and be vaccinated. But the game of hockey is very trying, especially for someone who's trying to keep it going. I mean, you were a goalie in one of the best leagues in the world. I believe that the NHL is the top tier. Compared to the Swedish Elite League, which is like probably near number one, maybe number two
Yeah.
in the world. And then the KHL, maybe, 3 or 4 around there. How hard was it to keep your job being a goalie, especially getting put into a situation like Vancouver, being the guy to backstop a lot of those big shots and whatever, being on the ice for the first time in front of a massive crowd and knowing your career is on the line?
I mean, it was tough. It's like when you think about it, when I played, there's only 60 goaltending jobs in the NHL, right? And now there's 64 because we added a couple teams, right? But no, it's tough, and it's like the league that everyone wants to play in, and everyone is working as hard to get there, right? So yeah, it was tough. It was tough when you it's not every day that you feel great and like excited to play and everything like that, because there's always injuries, and there's always stuff going on behind the scenes. So yeah, it was really tough, but looking back at it, I'm just so thankful for the experiences that I've been able to have through hockey, and the people that I met through hockey as well. So yeah, it's been a fun ride.
I definitely agree that Bo Horvat is one of the best choices that they've ever made for a captain on the Vancouver Canucks. Um, Even just going back to the Sedins and Trevor Linden and I'm sure,
Luongo too. They had a
yeah,
goalie as a captain. That
Luongo,
was
yeah,
super weird. Yeah.
and there were so many great goalies, in Vancouver with was it Dan Kluche? I believe that guy, he was super good. And you think about how the game has changed, right? One of my friends made an argument earlier today saying that if it was 3-on-3 overtime the whole time and no shootouts, there would be so many goalies losing their jobs. Do you agree with that?
uh, I think that it would be a little more fun. I kind of feel like now that it's just 5 minutes, some teams still kind of try to play a little bit defensively in the 3-on-3, and I'm like, that's not what this was made for, right? Like,
Yeah.
this 3-on-3 was just made for the fans, and it's supposed to be for like the fans. It's supposed to be back and forth, breakaway, 2-on-1, right? So
Yeah.
I think that with extending it, it would be it would kind of open it up a little bit, I think. Yeah.
What's a goalie's diet like? What's your diet during the year and your workout schedule? I know that we spoke about this before, how it's not come to training camp, get in shape, work off the beer from the summertime. It's come to training camp and let's get serious and try and keep our job.
Yeah, my summers were pretty much just like try to put some weight on again. I mean, when I have all that equipment on, I lose like 10 pounds every single game from just sweat. When I started the hockey season in October every year, I was around 205 pounds, right? And by the end of it, I was always like 187, 190. The summer was pretty much just like build up what you lost during the winter, right? And that's kind of what it was like with the body too. It's just there's so much stress on your body playing 82 games and all the travel and the practices and everything. So the summer is more kind of just like get back to feeling good and feeling like a human again, and then you go again.
Yeah. And is there someone chasing you around to tell you what to eat? And all these sports teams, they invest a lot of time in their dietitians and in health.
Yeah, me personally wasn't really that big of an issue, I guess. But I know a lot of these bigger guys and everything, they want to make sure that they can still skate when they get back from the summer and everything. So yeah, not too much for me personally, but I know a lot of guys that were on like diets and everything like that.
Well, you almost have to be, right? Like there's a lot of people that are probably not like you who lose weight. There are players who probably gain weight if they don't eat
Yeah,
right. So
yeah.
um yeah, your workout schedule on game day, like what is a game day routine look like for Eddie Lack?
So when I played, it was more just you go to the rink in the morning and you get a little quick workout in. You get a sweat. You maybe go on the ice for 10, 15 minutes in the morning just to move a little bit, and then it's basically just like go home and sleep and eat as much as you can and just reload, right? So yeah, I know a lot of guys have a lot of special superstitions and everything, like they have to eat the same meal every single game day, and they have to do it like the exact same way. They have to put the right skate on before the left. But for a goalie, I don't really think that I had a lot of quirky stuff really. I think that I was kind of normal for being a goalie.
Is there a guy who has a shot like in that a player that's in the league that the shot just scares you? I mean, wouldn't that be kind of scary? For anybody, um, me thinking about being a goalie, or anyone thinking about being a goalie in the NHL, it's kind of scary. Is there a guy's shot in the league that scared you every time?
Yeah, I mean, the guy that comes to mind is Shea Weber, right? What a shot he has, and uh, everyone always tells me like you're such an idiot for being a goalie and like standing in front of these hard shots all the time. But I'm like, I'm the one with gear on. I can't believe the players that block these shots with minimum equipment and everything on. Like, so uh, I kind of thought that I was the smart one
Yeah,
in that regard. But yeah, Weber had a bomb. Like
howitzer, as Jim Houston used to call it.
yeah, yeah,
I remember seeing him take a few shots, and it's like, holy moly. I'm not a Montreal fan, but that guy, I can give him credit. He's a hard player. He
oh
makes a
yeah,
difference. He's someone that you would want on your team because you don't want him
yeah,
shooting on you, obviously.
yeah.
Um, I know the Vancouver Canucks have some great talent, man. Bo Horvat, they got Brock Besser, they have Elias Pettersson. and this goes down and down. Like it's such a well constructed team that I believe is going to gel hopefully soon. Um, what are some of your greatest memories of being part of that organization?
So my favorite probably when we made the playoffs my last year there. It was just such a cool experience to be able to fly my parents over for the games and everything like that. The second one is just the organization treats its players so well, right? And especially when it comes to Canadian teams, I just feel like they spend so much money on everything around to make sure that their players have whatever they need to succeed, and they just have some really good people around that organization.
Yeah, it's because we actually care. Like this is the only thing going on here,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, exactly.
I know you've played in Calgary.
Well, barely played in Calgary, but I was on the bench a lot there. Yeah,
yeah, and you played a few games in Carolina,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then it was off to New Jersey. Hey, you
yeah,
played a few games there too, right?
yeah, yeah.
And they've got a good team as well. They got an up and coming team. Now Martin Brodeur is the head honcho there, and he brought in Jonathan Bernier, who reminds him a bit of himself, right?
A little bit, yeah, yeah.
Um,
You're not wrong there.
it's reading some of those editorials and why he thinks that he's a good fit for the team and how he is reminded of himself. It's pretty cool because I know Jonathan Bernier. I was a big fan of him and coming to Toronto and whatever, and I really believed in him in LA. And it's good to see that people. He just needs his support, right? And I believe that he's a great goalie, and of course he's a number two pick, right?
Yeah,
Overall.
yeah.
Um, what made you want to hang it up?
So I had my second hip surgery halfway through my second year in Jersey, and it was just like I told myself before the surgery, because I was battling with that for the last 3 4 years before that, and it was just kind of a battle on like being able to be good enough just to play every game, right? And I told myself before the surgery, if I'm not 100% and I don't feel 100%, I'm not gonna force it and like try to come back and not do it the way that it's supposed to, right? I didn't want to come back and not play well or not feel good or anything like that. So I got to a point where I feel good in the everyday life, but being a professional goalie, that's my past life.
Hey, I know you're into real estate now, and you also do assistant coaching to keep yourself in the game. But
Yeah.
it's always interesting to look back and think about the people that you were inspired by. Who are some of your favorite hockey players of all time?
So I started playing hockey because Sweden won the Olympics in '94. So it was Peter Forsberg scored like the game-winning shootout, and Tommy Salo made like a save. So it was kind of like those two guys that I starting playing for, and then when I got a little bit more into the game, it was Patrick Roy, Marty Brodeur, and Dominic Hasek. Like those were the three guys that I just looked up to so much, right? And then when I got a little bit older, Henrik Lundqvist came in the picture. So that's kind of just like a quick rundown
Wow.
of all the guys that inspired my journey, I guess.
Was Matt Sundin part of that team too when
Yeah.
Sweden won?
Uh, I'm not sure if he was part of that team. I think he played a year or two before in the World Championship, because the '94 Olympics was no NHL players were allowed. So Mats were over here already, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You can always talk about hockey with anyone who it's one of those sports that you can just talk about it in the summertime. And there's a place called Tim Hortons here in Canada,
Yep.
and
Timmy, I miss it.
hey, it's a great place to go. And it's weird. On the hottest day of the summer, you can catch two old guys sitting outside talking about who their team should trade for and whatever. It's a game that goes hand in hand, and you know what people are doing on Saturday night. They're
Yep.
watching the game. They're having a few beers. They're going out to the bar after if they're not hanging out with the second game. Which for us over here on the Eastern Coast,
Yeah.
it can be kind of hard to watch the second game, but I've actually learned to appreciate some of those second games late at night because the teams from the West are the ones you got to look out for, right?
Yeah, and I really hope that Toronto's going to have a really successful season as well. I mean, I hang out with Austin Matthews a little bit down here in Arizona in the summers, and like they've had a really good team for a few years now, right? So I hope that they put it together here.
Yeah, and I hope to get Austin on the team on the
Yeah.
show sometime soon. But I think that what's missing in Toronto's game is intensity, man. So that's they need to bring it all. They're a great team. They're built. They've got a good defensive core, right? And it's you're talking about the six that play, and it's one of the best in the league. Like if you look at how it's built, you got Muzzin, you got Riley, you got TJ Brody, Justin Hall. It's so interesting to see a team that's so well constructed, and of course, the Toronto media just gets all over them. It's very hard to play in a town where everybody's at your neck all the time. But if you just block that all out, I think that what we need as the Toronto Maple Leafs, not that I'm a super hockey expert, but from what I've seen, it's been hard to, people shut you down and stuff like that, obviously on the ice, but the intensity has got to be there, right?
Exactly. And like, this is one thing that we talked about before too. It's like the Canadian teams take so good care of their players and everything. And I feel like Toronto is probably at the top of that list. And Canadian teams just have such a hard time when it comes to winning, like going all the way and winning the Stanley Cup, right? So it's pressure definitely has a lot to do with it, I think. And yeah, I really hope that a Canadian team will win soon. I hope that it's going to be Vancouver, but I just want anyone to win at this point.
It could be Edmonton at this point, but
yeah,
there is one thing I don't wish on anyone. Standing in front of Austin Matthews when he takes a shot on you. I'm scared. I'm sure a lot of other people around the league are scared as well. Thank you so much, Eddie. It's been great meeting you and having you on the show. And of course, talking about coffee. You drink coffee?
Yeah.
What do you take in your coffee?
I just like the espresso shots, man. That's all I do. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your career. I wish you all the best going forward. And you better tell Austin Matthews that I'm coming for him next.
Oh, I will.